Hey, 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 it's your girl, Carla Renata, aka the Curvy Film Critic. Welcome back. Hey, Brandon. Hey, William Jacquin. Haven't seen you here in a while. Welcome, welcome, welcome. For those of you who have never been here before, my name is Carla Renata, and you have tuned into the Curvy Critic with Carla Renata, episode 148. And what we do here is we give reviews and review film reviews and talk to talent above and below the line. Give me a big thumbs up to let me know that you were here. I love the thumbs up situation. Yay! It's my favorite thing ever. And let me fix this so you can't see my whole doorknob. And click the bell for notifications so that you know when I have a live guest, when it's just me, and I'll always try to entertain you. Hey, Kenneth Williams, how are you? Nice to see you. Thank you so much for tuning in. All right, so as I start every show, I always tell everybody how my week went and what was going on in Carla's world. So this week, I attended a plethora of virtual premieres. The first one I attended was one for The Little Things. It's a film that stars Denzel Washington, Rami Malek, and Jared Leto, all Academy Award winners. It was something else. I will review it next week, but it was really something else. It kind of took me for a loop. The other one that I saw was Malcolm and Marie. It stars Zendaya and John David Washington. It is streaming on It's going to be streaming on Netflix in February. And when I tell you, it is like the must-see film of 2021 right now. It's the must-see film of 2021 right now. I promise you that. I also saw The White Tiger, attended a virtual premiere for that. I'll be reviewing that today here as well. I attended the virtual premiere for the Salt and Pepper Lifetime movie. Y'all know Salt and Pepper. That song, Push It. Push it good. Dun, 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 dun. Y'all know. Anywho, it is coming on to Lifetime next week on January 23rd. I loved it. It was like a nostalgic throwback to the original Badass Girls of Hip Hop. I was there for all of it. I'll talk about that next week. I also attended a virtual celebration for American Cinematheque, who I've also moderated discussions for in honor of Spike Lee. They gave him their 34th American Cinematheque Award. And so snaps and claps to Mr. Spike Lee on that. I also attended, I know it's been a lot of attending this week, right? I also attended the IDA Documentary Awards. So these are the winners from that awards, and I can't wait to share them with you because a lot of them I've talked about on this show. So Best Feature went to Crip Camp, which is a documentary produced and directed by Jim LeBret. Best Director went to Garrett Bradley for Time. That's the one where the mother and the father were incarcerated and it took them years and years and years to get out. Garrett Bradley directed that. She got Best Director for that. I've also talked a lot about Atlanta's Missing and Murdered, which was a documentary series that aired on television via PBS and I forget the other outlet, but it's produced and directed by Sam Pollard, who does a lot of directing of some things. He's also the director of MLK, FBI documentary that I talked about last week. What else won? Dick Johnson is Dead won an award, which is winning a lot of awards this award season. And Best Short Form Series, POV Series, was produced by one of my friends and Sisters in the Struggle, Opal Bennett. So I wanted to give her a shout out. They also gave Crip Camp an honorable mention, an ABC Video Source Award, and some other honorary awards went to Sam Pollard for a Career Achievement Award, and I think it's the Amicus Award went to Regina Scully. So that was the IDA, the Documentary Awards. And I also wanted to remind you guys about the release of One Night in Miami that came out over the weekend. My bad. It was released on Martin Luther King's birthday, January 15th, but we actually celebrated on the 18th. I wanted to remind you guys to check that out. I have interviews today, yay, with Regina King, One Night in Miami's director, and two of its stars, Kingsley, Ben-Adir, and Leslie Odom Jr. I also wanted to remind you that Promising Young Woman starring Carey Mulligan came out, and I do a show on Focus Features called You Know That Scene. You can catch it on YouTube. It is called You Know That Scene, and me and about 4 other film critics do a real deep dive into Carey Mulligan's performance of Promising Young Woman, and the whole film and that genre in general of just badass women. So I told y'all last week that I've introduced some new segments. One of the segments that I've introduced is Around the Curve. Another one is Curvy Classic. The Curvy Classic for today is The Kid by Charlie Chaplin. And the reviews will be American Skin and The White Tiger, like I said earlier. So I'm going to go ahead and let you get into Around the Curve. Let's take a trip, baby. All right, baby, it's time to go around the curve. The ruler of Zamunda, Tony winner and known to millions as Darth Vader and Mufasa, James Earl Jones celebrates 90 years young today. The legend hasn't slowed down with Coming to America 2 being released in March, and a happy 99 birthday to our girl Betty White. Morgan Freeman will commemorate Martin Luther King's birthday tomorrow with a series of 12 videos that begin playing hourly on his Instagram page at 8 a.m. Shotgun Wedding has been called off, at least for now, with J-Lo and Armie Hammer after Hammer pulled out of the project this week, citing scheduling conflicts. Raven Goodwin has been tapped to play the legendary Hattie McDaniel in Behind the Smile. Written by Jamie McCoy, script by Gregory Daniel, director has not been attached, and apparently a little hot sauce goes a long way for partners Joy Bryan and Samantha Taylor Pickett for their Sony Pictures TV deal. Congratulations, ladies. Nick Jonas is in talks to play Frankie Valli in the streaming event performance of the Tony Award-winning musical Jersey Boys. Director Melina Matsoukas has signed a 2-year first-look production deal with MGM. The deal reunites her with MGM Film Group President Pamela Abbey, who worked with Matsoukas on her directorial debut of Queen and Slim. The Gotham Awards went out, and Nomadland is keeping its streak with Best Feature and Audience Award. Paul Raci and Riz Ahmed took home Best Supporting and Best Actor. Time and 1,000 Cuts tied for Best Documentary. Miss Juneteenth director Channing Godfrey Peoples inked her first look deal with UCP to write, produce, and direct projects for the studio, while her star of Miss Juneteenth, Nicole Bahari, took home the award for Best Actress. An actor and actress tribute were given to Viola Davis and Chadwick Boseman. Made in New York award went to Jeffrey Wright. The director's tribute went to Steve McQueen. 40-Year-Old Version snagged the prize for Best Screenplay, and breakthrough actor went to One Night in Miami's Kingsley Ben-Adir. Sopranos prequel film The Many Saints of Newark has been pushed back again and will now open this fall on September 24th. Sony's Morbius, starring Jared Leto, has been moved back by 7 months from March 19th to October 8th. And don't forget to catch One Night in Miami on Amazon Prime Video. That's it, baby, for Around the Curve. Yay! Around the Curve, baby. I will be here with film news every week as I get it and process it throughout the week. So that is that segment. Moving on, let me acknowledge William Jacquin. He says he's sorry that he hasn't been here, that, he's had a lot going on. He had a car crash. I'm so sorry to hear about your car crash. Congratulations on your baby, Zebra, though. And I'm sorry about your grandma, and congratulations on your position at work. You have had a lot going on, but guess what? It means you're living. You're still here. You opened your eyes to breathe and inhale and take on another day. So I will keep my fingers crossed that you don't have any more misfortunes happen in 2021, because you have definitely gotten your share worth. And I also wanted to give a big shout out again to Kenneth Williams and my boy Brandon. All right, let's get into it. There is a film that is streaming video on demand. You can catch it on Amazon Prime Video. It's called American Skin. It is directed and written by Nate Parker. Now, if that name sounds familiar, you remember that name from a couple of years ago. There was all this hype about him having a film called The Birth of a Nation, and people would often get it confused with Birth of a Nation, the D.W. Griffith film. It's two different films. Birth of a Nation was dealing with something completely different, but that film also was written, directed, and produced by Nate Parker. It got rave reviews at all the film festivals. Everybody was hype about it. 20th century, Fox Searchlight Pictures, which was what it was called at the time, plunked down all this money to buy it. It was due to have this major rollout. And then drama and tragedy struck when some news resurfaced about Nate Parker and a sexual allegation against him while he was in college. He went to court for it. He was cleared. But that kind of hung over his head for a minute. Having said that, I'm just reminding you of who the filmmaker is. Now, let's just say that the filmmaker is different from the man. And what I will say about the filmmaker, because it is my job to talk about his films, not his personal life. I'm not TMZ. So it's my job to talk about his films. American Skin is fabulous. It's a wonderful film. This is why it's wonderful. It's right on time. It is a film where it deals around this vet being pulled over by the police, and it results in his son being shot. Most people, and how many times have we heard that story time and time again over, the last decade or so? How many brown and Black people have we heard about being shot and losing their lives over nothing or something so minuscule? Even the young man just a few weeks back that got shot in the back. And yet again, as it is in every case, the officers were found not guilty, or they gave them the very minimum that they could throw the book at them for, didn't charge them, and they were able to go on with their lives. Well, what happens to these families? How are they able to go on with their lives? Do they go on with their lives? How do they handle that type of tragedy? That is what American Skin is about, because at the end of the day, we all have skin and we're all American. Doesn't matter what color we are. That's the point of this film. It is beautifully written. It is written the way that we talk. It culminates with Nate Parker's character holding the police officer hostage in the police station and holding a trial to see, because he yet again was one of the officers that was found not guilty. So he holds his own trial. He has no intention of hurting any of these police officers or anything like that. It reminded me a lot of Dog Day Afternoon. It was like a Black version of Dog Day Afternoon with a really different kind of spin on it. And I enjoyed it. I really did enjoy it. And the spin on it is they have a young filmmaker come in who initially comes in to do a documentary on Nate Parker's character, but ends up documenting this whole day where all these shenanigans happen. So if you are game for it, if you have the mindset to even watch that right now, it's called American Skin. It's written and directed by Nate Parker, and it is on video demand. You can find it at Amazon Prime right now. All right, Kingsley Ben-Adir. He plays Malcolm X in One Night in Miami. He is absolutely lovely. I loved talking with him. I really was impressed with his performance in One Night in Miami. And in case you didn't know, we're going to talk about it for a minute. In the interview, he was playing Barack Obama in the Comey, I think it's called the Comey Files. He was playing Barack Obama and Malcolm X at the same time. Can you imagine playing those two iconic men at the same time? Well, with this actor, I can totally imagine it. He did his thing. So take a look and a listen to this interview I did with Kingsley Ben-Adir for One Night in Miami.
Hey, Carla.
Hi, Kingsley. How are you?
I'm doing good. I love your space.
Thank you, darling. I love my space too. So listen, I know that you were shooting and playing Barack Obama simultaneously while you were shooting and playing Malcolm X. Are there any strengths of each one of those men's characters or personality traits that kind of stayed with you after you finished shooting?
Yeah, I mean, not me, but the things that I was kind of taken by, in both of them. Barack, his coolness and his confidence, and how he really takes his time. He really takes his time. That brother takes his time when he speaks, and
he does.
He considers, and that was a real interesting way into to playing him, and then studying Malcolm was just, I mean, it was another level, because the scale of the part, the size of the part, and the emotional responsibility as an actor to play Malcolm in this piece was just breathtaking. I am stunned by him in so many ways. His intellectual. I mean, he really was a genius. His and funny. He has such a great, deep sense of humor, and kind and decent, and I kind of fell in love with him. It was really kind of strange coming to the end of the project and not having to play his videos and listen to him all day. It was, I took a lot away from the experience.
Oh, that's great. Speaking of which, there's a line where he says Black people are dying in the streets, right? How has that resonated with you since shooting and knowing that Black Lives Matter went down over the summer?
I guess it's one of the moments in the film that I feel, proud about. And it's one of the, I kind of fell in love with acting and wanting to be a part of independent films and playing interesting characters, like because of those emotionally charged moments where hopefully I hope that, people can connect and a sort of face to see their humanity through watching someone else experience something. And I loved, the exploration of Malcolm as a human being was a real delight. And it feels a little bit surreal now thinking that it happened, with Regina directing. It's kind of nuts.
I do know your performance was spectacular, and thank you so much for allowing me the opportunity to speak to you today. It's been my pleasure.
Oh, no, my pleasure. And I wish we had more time and we could do it again another time.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Bye.
Take care.
Isn't he lovely? I just want him to get all the love in the world. Like I mentioned earlier, he got the Breakout Award at the Gotham Awards, which went down over this weekend. So congratulations, Kingsley. We're rooting for you. Yay. All right. Hi, Michael B. I'm glad to see you joining us. And thank you, Brandon, for telling me that Dale Bear, the great Disney animator, lost his life this week. So we definitely want to pay homage to those that are great in our film industry. All right, The White Tiger, y'all. It is streaming on Netflix. It stars Priyanka Chopra Jones as Pinky, Raj Kumar Rao as Ashok, and Adash Gaurav as Balram. I got my entire life with this movie. I kind of didn't know what to expect. It's based on a book written by Aravind Adiga, and it's directed, written, and produced by Raman Bharani. It's told by brown people about brown people. I love that. I love that there is a film that is told about brown people by brown people. And basically, it's one of these films where it deals with this epic journey of this poor Indian driver played by Adash, who uses his wit and his cunning bite to break free from the servitude of his rich masters and rise to the top of the heap. This film was very intriguing. I loved the soundtrack, and it's a great homage to the authentic Indian culture, meaning that in the Indian culture, like so many cultures, including our own, women are treated as second-class citizens and not as real, viable, thriving human beings. So Pinky, played by Priyanka Chopra, she is everything in this movie. She stands up to the status quo. She's like, look here, I'm educated. I might be a woman, but I'm educated and I have a point of view, and you're going to hear it whether you like it or not. There are some scenes that she has in that movie that are just absolutely biting and breathtaking, and I was just there for all of it. Now, Adash, who plays Balram, what happens is he thinks that if he can get to this rich family, work for them, and save up enough money, he can get out of his circumstances, which is being poor in India, and make a lot of money for himself and his family, right? His grandmother gives him the money. He goes and he goes to work for this rich dude. Some circumstances happen. I don't want to ruin it for you, but some things go down that make him flip and go to the dark side. That's the best way for me to say it. And that it's a film about showing that there's corruption in democracy, we're witnessing that right now. And it's also like the brown man versus the yellow man kind of thing happening. So it's a really, really good film. I highly suggest you guys take a look at it. Again, it's called The White Tiger. It's streaming on Netflix. It is directed and written and produced by Raman Barani and is based on the book by Aravind Adiga. All right. Now, my boy, Leslie Odom Jr. I've interviewed Leslie on The Curvy Critic with Carla Renata a zillion times because that is my boy. But he plays Sam Cooke in One Night in Miami, and he is about to tell us something that I did not know about him getting this part. So take a look and a listen to this interview with Leslie Odom Jr., Sam Cooke in One Night in Miami. What's up, brother Les?
My girl. You got the tie-dye on. You got the fuzzy chair. I love your setup. It looks great. I wish I was hugging you in person, but it's good to see you.
We can hug virtually. Yay. Brother, I'm so proud of you. Wow. You are having a fantabulous couple of years, right? You've been fortunate enough to be on screen playing some really powerful, strong, positive men in Red Tails, the recreation of Hamilton on screen, Harriet, and now One Night in Miami. Has picking these roles been conscious or unconscious on your part?
Very conscious when I'm picking them, but you know as well as I that you have no control over the thing, or you have very little control over the things that find their way to you. At this point, you just have to, I have to constantly remind myself that I do have a choice over the things that I say yes to and the things that I say no to. So it ends up looking like, something else, but it's just kind of knowing how to sift through. But what am I saying too? Because this, if I think about this, even, I ran away from this. This was something Regina saw in me that I did not see in myself. I did not think that I turned down this audition twice. The meeting with Regina, I turned it down twice. And I was not trying to play Sam Cooke in some biopic of Sam Cooke. Regina saw something in me before I saw it in myself.
Wow, I can't even believe that. Speaking of that song, or Sam Cooke and that song, "A Change Is Gonna Come," it's been covered by so many people. Why do you think that the Sam Cooke version resonates to this day? Because it's been covered by Aretha, Beyonce, Betty LaVette on the steps of the Lincoln Memorial. Why do you think his version resonates so strongly?
Well, it was because his whole life prepared him to sing that sermon, prepared him to, to write and lay that aria down. I mean, please, that was all the lessons as a teenager, being the teenage lead of a gospel group called the Soul Stirrers, and then leaving the gospel world behind and a lot of those fans behind. That was a big risk he took to become a pop star because he believed in himself. And he, in that, his first song, "You Send Me," turns the world upside down. So "A Change Is Gonna Come" is really the marrying of his gospel roots, his R&B and soul roots, everything he'd learned as a man, all the pain that he'd had in his life. It is a culmination of all that. So that's why Sam's version it's the OG.
Well, congratulations on all the awards you've gotten thus far. And I know you're gonna get that Oscar nom. I told you this eons ago. So we just gonna pop a bottle of Moet when that happens, okay?
We're gonna see, but I love Moet. Let's do it. If it happens, I won't turn down the Moet.
All right, baby. I'll see you the next time. Thank you.
Thank you.
Bye.
Happy New Year.
Happy New Year. I love my boy, Leslie Odom Jr. He's always so kind, and he always makes sure that I'm on the radar to interview him for whatever project that he has. I cannot begin to tell you how much I appreciate you for that. Thank you so very much. And congratulations again on Sam Cooke. Yes, William Jacquin, my guests are the bomb.com. I love them. They're always so kind and giving, and they make my job really fun and really easy. About that comment that I said, Michael B. Yellow and Asian, you'll have to watch the film to find that out. That's not me paraphrasing. That's something that they say in the film. So check out The White Tiger to see why they say that. I can't tell y'all everything because then y'all won't watch the movie. I don't want to be a spoiler alert person. I'm not trying to be that doll. Anywho, Let's get into the curvy classic. I'm going to have my graphics for this soon, so just please be patient. It's taking a little longer than I had anticipated. But the curvy classic today is a film by Charlie Chaplin called The Kid. It turns 100 years this year, y'all. It was made in 19. If you have never seen this film, you can watch it on Amazon Prime. You can watch it on Amazon Prime. The Kid is notable for being the first feature-length comedy film to combine comedy and drama, as the opening title says, a picture with a smile and perhaps a tear. It is one of my favorite Charlie Chaplin films. I know y'all are like, you like Charlie Chaplin? Yes, I love Charlie Chaplin. My mother, as Spike Lee would say, my mother was a cinephile, or is a cinephile, and every movie or movie star or whatever that I've learned about it through my mother. So I would watch Charlie Chaplin movies with my mother. The main theme in this is score it's based on a theme by, now let me get this name right, I don't want to screw it up, by Tchaikovsky's Sixth Symphony. So you have to watch the film to find that out. And a little known fact, Jackie Coogan, who plays the kid in The Kid, if y'all ever saw that 1964 TV series, The Addams Family, that little boy right there, Jackie Coogan is Uncle Fester in the 1960 sitcom The Addams Family. Isn't that wild? And a little known fact about Charlie Chaplin that most people don't know, that he is known for collaborating with Mabel Normand, who was a female filmmaker, and men during that time weren't trying to collaborate with anybody other than themselves. Half the time they weren't trying to collaborate, but he collaborated with Mabel on 12 films. She starred in a lot of his films and went on to be his collaborator moving on further in the future. So I just wanted to give a shout out to Charlie Chaplin's 100th anniversary of The Kid for this week's Curvy Classic. My last interview is with the director of One Night in Miami, Miss Regina King. And I talked to her about, now they shot this, the last part of it during quarantine, once after the quarantine had hit, and right in the midst of the Black Lives Matter movement. So we chatted about that a little bit. So take a look and a listen to this interview with director Regina King. Miss Regina, my sister, it's always so wonderful to see you.
Ditto, ditto.
That bright, shining face of yours. Listen, it's not lost on me that we have 4 legendary men in the present time portraying 4 legendary men during a time where they were at the top of their game, and these 4 men are at the top of their game, and you're at the top of your game. Has any of that resonated with you thus far?
I think we're just taking it in now. It's been just an overwhelming flood of positivity coming our way. So we're trying to just take it in, be graceful as we receive it, not let our head get too high in the clouds, because there's always someone that, you know, is ready to kick you off of it. We've just been enjoying our accomplishment. This wasn't easy, and we did it. We set out to do a thing, and we did a thing.
I know. I think y'all might have been shooting in the midst of the whole Black Lives Matter situation that was going on over the summer. Can you just speak for a second about what that must have felt like, what was bubbling up on the inside of you during that time with these men, these young, beautiful Black men?
Yeah. Well, I you know, it was because of that made us, pushed us back into production to finish the film. And we had 2 more scenes that were old, and we always felt like these conversations are timely. They were relevant in 64. They were relevant before 64. And then boom, you know, George Floyd and Breonna Taylor happened, and then the uprising. And I don't want to spoil anything, but there's a scene in there with Cassius that was not shot prior to the uprising. And Eli said it just hit him in such a different way. And he was almost glad that this was the scene that we still owed, because while it meant something to him, it just was even more of a visceral need to say these words. And I think he's right. I think his performance was, he just turned it up just a little bit more, you know?
Yeah, I agree. Everyone's performances was great. Your directorial debut is stellar, as I've said. And I'll tell Claudette that I sat down and chatted with you again. She'll love it.
Yes, please do. Please do.
All right. Bye now. Thank you.
Your beautiful smile.
Thank you. Okay, so side note, Claudette is my mother. And the last time I interviewed Regina King, my mother had jokes. So that was like an inside thing between her and I. But Claudette is my mother. And I knew that that would make her laugh. So I wanted to close it out that way. But thank you, Regina, as always, for being so gracious. And you guys check out One Night in Miami. It is streaming on Amazon Prime Video through Amazon Studios right now. Michael B., yes, I got a sneak peek of the United States versus Billie Holiday. I cannot wait to tell y'all all about it. If you think Diana Ross did her thing and Lady Sings the Blues, you ain't ready for Andra Day. That's all I'm going to say for now. That's all I'm going to say for now. Straight up. That's all I'm going to say for now. All right. I just want to, in closing out, I want to give you my best actress predictions throughout this award season. And as we go a little further, every other week or so, I'll, address them until the big awards start to happen. And then I'll do a deeper dive into them. So I wanted to start with Carey Mulligan for Promising Young Woman. Carey Mulligan is a beast in this movie. I've said that she was an acting beast in this movie. She is doing things in this film for Focus Features that I have never seen her do on screen before. It is a tour de force performance. She deserves all the snaps, claps, and accolades for this performance. People are sleeping on her this award season. A lot of the Best Actress awards and honors are going to Frances McDormand and Viola Davis. It's kind of all over the place right now, but in a minute it's going to stabilize. But I still like Carey Mulligan and Promising Young Woman. Zendaya in Malcolm and Marie. Y'all are not ready. Now, I have a personal connection with Zendaya because Zendaya played my daughter on Shake It Up on Disney 5,000 years ago. She's not a little girl anymore. She's a full-fledged grown woman with skills, and I mean acting skills. And John David and her, it's only them, and they are wearing it out. I can't say any more about it because it is under embargo, but I will tell you this. When that film starts streaming on Netflix, it is definitely something you are not going to want to miss, and you are going to fall in love with Zendaya all over again. I already have. Viola Davis in Ma Rainey's Black Bottom is Viola Davis, y'all. What is it that she can't do? What is it that she cannot do? She's Ma Rainey. That's all I'm going to say. She is a fantabulous actress. She's grounded. She's rooted. She takes on every role that she does 1,000% with all kinds of gusto and realism. I was there for all of it. I really, really was. Who else did I want to talk? Vanessa Kirby in Pieces of a Woman. I told y'all, Vanessa Kirby goes places in Pieces of a Woman that I've never seen an actress do. It is so, I don't even want to use the word brave because it's not brave, but she goes to a place that I thought I was watching it for real. I forgot I was watching an actress playing a role. She was fabulous. Han Yi Ri in Minari, that doll who plays Monica, she's no joke. She is no joke. And Minari is doing this season what a lot of films should be doing this season. Invigorating conversation. Just invigorating conversation. I love it so much. And in addition to that, her co-star Yoon Ya-Jun, she plays Sunja in Minari. I haven't talked about Minari yet because it hasn't been released, I don't believe. But when it does, I will be talking about it. These two women in this film, they're giving me everything. So I just want those women to be on your radar. Carey Mulligan, Zendaya, Frances McDormand in Nomadland. It's Frances McDormand, y'all. I mean, she's just the original OG badass. And what she does in Nomadland is very simple. It's not in your face, but it speaks 1,000 words without saying a whole lot. Vanessa Kirby, Han Yi-ri, and Yoon Yu-jung in Minari. Keep your eyes peeled for those names. They're going to come up over and over and over again this award season. And there might be a couple in there that I might have to throw in later on, but that's it. All right. So that is it for this episode of The Curvy Critic with Carla Renata. Again, if you have not been here before, give me a big thumbs up to let me know that you were here. Click that bell for notifications. I'm here every Sunday at 5 o'clock Pacific time, talking about everything above and below the line in the film industry. Next week, y'all. Next week, hold up. Wait a minute now. Next week, I have Sophie Okonedo. You may know her from the film Hotel Rwanda. Well, she's on a new Amazon Prime series called Flack, and we're talking all about her character. I will have my review of The Little Things next week, my best actor predictions of who to watch, and my predictions of what's going to go down at the Sundance Film Festival virtually, because it officially starts on January 28th and goes through February 3rd, and yours truly will be attending virtually. So I can't wait to tell you what that's going to look like, because I'm used to going to the mountains in Utah this time of the year for that. So this is the first time I haven't gone in like 7 or 8 years. All right. So until the next time, love, peace, and hair grease. Thank you, Brandon, Michael B., William, Jacqueline. I know I missed somebody else, but thank you. Thank all of y'all for coming in and saying hello to your girl. I appreciate you. Love, peace, and hair grease, and deuces till the next time. Bye.